Hello, everyone. This is Steve Lookner with Right Side Broadcasting, coming to you with late night with a little breaking news here. An earthquake has hit Montana, a 5.8 earthquake. I can't remember the last time there was that big an earthquake, not in, say, California. So we're here. We want to cover it a little for you and catch you up to date on what's going on here. I want to make sure you can hear me really quickly. An earthquake? Oh, you can. Wonderful. Great. So let me go to some of the news here and catch you up on it here. As I switch over my camera angle. Okay, so that's where it was centered. Let me get this map up here. There you go. So B&O News says strong earthquake hits. Oops, let me get me on the left. Sorry. There we go. Hits western Montana, and if you see where that point is, that's where the center is, and it's right near Helena, Montana. Which because I'm dumb, I can't remember. Is Helena the capital, or is it just like one of the big cities? Capital of Montana. It is Helena. So there it is. It's right near Helena, the capital, and so it was a 5.8, which is certainly sizable, and I'm going to show you in a second some eyewitness reports of what people felt and what it was like feeling that earthquake in Montana. So let me, but just to get you caught up in the news, 5.8 earthquake. USGS has confirmed it's a 5.8 earthquake. The United States, I think it's Geological Survey. And I want to keep going up because there were some other tweets here I wanted to show you about this. Well, as we go a little higher here. Oh, I just saw this one. I hadn't seen this before. Montana earthquake. This guy says 5.7. Main shock and an aftershock at Bozeman, Montana, 160 kilometers from the epicenter. There was some more information here I want to get to you. These were some eyewitness. Oops, I'm sorry. Those are some. You can see where it is. It's right. It's sort of near Missoula, Montana, too. Western Montana. Let me keep going. That is right there. I want to show you this. This site at EMSC, they get eyewitness reports, and if you look at this picture here, so blue is. It's a little hard to get it all in here at once, but sorry. Let me do this. Hold on, I'm going to move it up. So see right there, in terms of like blue is not that severe. I think blue is just felt. Let me check this again. Blue is felt. Yellow and green are more like largely felt. So if I go and red is like severe. So these are people talking about. These are all eyewitness reports from people who said they felt the earthquake and they report how strongly they felt it. And the vast majority of them are in blue, which is just felt. Although we do see some right near where the star is, where the epicenter was. We're seeing some greens and yellows there. So, which is strongly felt, but not like severely felt. And I'm gonna again very soon. I'm gonna show you some of the eyewitness accounts. I just want to. So we're seeing stuff like this here. I have more of these, but. This woman, Dana Prestige Cole, says, shook me out of bed here in Missoula, Montana. That's what Dana Prestige Cole said. This person, Lyric, said, felt just northeast of Boise, Idaho. And David Dobbins just said another baby aftershock. This was 10 minutes ago. We're seeing several aftershocks reported. You can see there. Many reports of strong shaking, says EMSC, but no report so far of damage. So no reports of damage so far. I wouldn't be surprised if there's a little damage, but no reports of damage so far following this 5.8 earthquake in Montana. This woman, Carolyn Kennedy, is that Carolyn Kennedy, like Canadian actress Carolyn Kennedy? That's not one of the Kennedys. So she says, we felt this Montana earthquake all the way in Calgary. I have another site with some eyewitness accounts, but I just want to real quick just make sure there's not any updates. here. EMSC says if you are in Montana, hold on, you'll see it on your screen in a second. If you are in Montana, you can expect aftershocks in the coming hours, days, and weeks. Just check that you are ready. Here's another map of the testimony people wrote in. And again, the blue is just felt, whereas yellow and green are more strongly felt. And so most of the dots are blue. These are all eyewitness reports. Let's go look at some of what people actually said, though, here. Again, this is Right Side Broadcasting. I'm Steve Lookner. We will have coverage of President Trump's speech from Poland, and so what he is doing is he's giving a joint press conference with I believe the Polish president. Unless I'm wrong about this, I'll tell you in 2 seconds. Before we get back to the earthquake, I want to keep you informed as to what our programming schedule is tonight. Yeah, so he'll hold a joint press conference with the Polish president. That's at 4:15 Eastern, and at 5:10 he will give remarks at the Three Seas Initiative Summit. So we will carry both of those on Right Side Broadcasting. Okay, let's get back. I want to show you some of the testimonies I've been reading over. And this is Right Side Broadcasting. We're covering interesting news. Earthquake hits Montana, a 5.8 earthquake. No reports of damage yet, but as we'll see, a lot of people felt it. And just want to say we are viewer supported, so if you like our coverage and you want to give a donation, we really appreciate it because you keep us on the air. You can donate by going to rsbn.tv/donate, rsbn.tv/donate, or you can, if you're watching on YouTube, you can go to the chat room. At the bottom of the chat room, there's a $sign. Just click on the $sign. And feel free to like this video on YouTube and share it on Facebook as well. Hello to both everybody on Facebook and YouTube. And also, let's see. Hold on, I just have to tell. Sorry about that. So I forgot what I was going to say. Anyways, hello. I want to say thank you to the moderators for moderating the chat room so late. Okay, let's look at this site here. This site has this EMSC site has a bunch of feedback. These are people in real time sending in. They're sending in their testimony about what it was like feeling the earthquake. So let's read some of these, shall we? Strongest I have ever felt with. So it tells you how many miles from the kilometers from the epicenter it is. 28 kilometers away. The strongest I have ever felt with aftershock a few minutes later. Let's keep going. Let's read some more of these. Shook the house and beds, lasted for 6 or 7 seconds, had aftershock that lasted about 3 seconds, pretty wild. 2 quakes, seems like you could hear second one coming from far off. Woke us up from a dead sleep while a whole bed was moving, and then another about a minute after. So a number of the people who are giving testimony on this or talking witness accounts they seem to be saying there's 2 earthquakes. I don't know if they mean there was an aftershock. They seem to be saying they felt like 2 periods of shaking. Never felt here's another one. Never felt an earthquake before. Pool was sloshing and house was shaking decently. Okay, felt 2 strong aftershocks. Thank you, JC. Just made a donation. Thank you so much, JC. Really appreciate it. Thank you, JC. One of our moderators to where I was living at the time. So 5.8 is quite a strong earthquake. This person says 2 quakes several minutes apart. First was larger. House shook for several seconds. This person says whole house moved. This person says seemed like a noise first, then house shaking side to side for 10 to 15 seconds. So pretty significant. We are camping on Sealy Lake, and I felt one large earthquake that made the motorhome roll back and forth enough to wake us all up. We felt 2 smaller in length aftershocks. Just looking. This person also says 2 waves minutes apart. So a lot of people saying 2 waves of shaking. First one woke us up from sleep with the headboard and dresser. Sorrow knocking the wall a few times, and we could feel the whole house shake. So a number of people were woken up by this. People felt aftershocks. People were saying their house rattled. And here's another person who says their house rattled. It's a lot of consistency in the accounts here. There's another person who says, shook my house, rattled it. So really interesting, and I don't know. I'm certainly no earthquake expert, so I don't know. Is this a place where they get a lot of earthquakes? I mean, I do follow the earthquakes with the reports of them, and I don't feel like I hear of Montana earthquakes very frequently. Remember when I was in Boston about 5 years ago, there was an earthquake, I think in D.C., and I actually felt it. I was sitting in Boston, and I felt it then, and that was like a big story, not because it was a huge earthquake, but just because like they never got earthquakes there. So quite interesting. There's one in Montana, and by the way, I think this is Right Side Broadcasting. If you like breaking news, we cover it a lot. You can feel free to subscribe to us on YouTube and click the notifications bell to get informed when we do videos like this. Also, I am at @Lookner on Twitter, and I cover breaking news a lot on my Twitter, so feel free to subscribe to me on Twitter. And also, I forgot to mention, if any of you watching have any thoughts on this earthquake or comments on it, we'll be on for a few more minutes here. Or maybe you're in Montana and you want to comment and give your story. Write to me on Twitter @Lookner. Let me know, and I can read your comment on the air. BC man, thanks Steve for following the story at this late hour. We appreciate you. Well, I was awake, and so I figured I'd come on. Carrot King says we had an earthquake in Toronto, Canada, 5.9. Was that tonight? I didn't hear anything about that. Wow. Oh, I think maybe people in Canada felt this, because like Eric Bourgoin is saying, shook our apartment building in Lethbridge, Alberta, Canada. So I think a couple of these people from Canada, like Eric and Carrot King, are saying, hey, we're in Canada, we felt this. Wow, that's quite interesting. How about that? How about that? Oh, I should show you real quick the USGS site. One of the viewers sent me this as well. I think it was Katie G who sent me this. I meant to get this on the board as well. So USGS site has, they're saying, hold on, 5.8, 9 kilometers southeast of Lincoln, Montana. They have a little did you feel it too. Maybe I can get this on the air. Hold on a second. Let's see if I can fit all this in. Yeah, so you can actually see just below where it says, below our lower third, you can see the scale there, how it, like blue is the lower scale and it goes up to red. And these are the reports, the eyewitness reports people sent into the USGS. And you can see there's a lot of yellows, which is a 6 on the scale, which is medium strength of people grade how strong they felt the shaking. And there's a lot of yellow right near that not that epicenter, but there's a bunch of green, which is still significant a ways around there. And I should get the, let me show you, let me raise this a little bit so you can see the scale. It says 50 miles. So it looks to me, if I'm just eyeballing it, that you have people, 100 miles away who are still saying gave it a 5 on the very light shaking scale. And we're hearing some people from Canada wrote us in and said they felt it too. Oh, a vampiric rogue writes, it was 3 a.m. and the house started to shake. I thought it was my husband shaking his leg in his sleep, so I punched him. I hope you didn't punch him hard, vampiric rogue. So yeah, a lot of people were woken up by this, like our viewer who just wrote in said. And I do remember one I got woke up, but the one I was talking about a couple years ago in LA, I felt a bunch of them when I was living in LA, but the one I got woken up for was very strange because I was sleeping and it was this weird thing where like right before I got woken up, I started dreaming I was in a helicopter and the helicopter was really loud and shaking, and then I woke up and the earthquake was happening. So I think like the movement of the earthquake affected what I was dreaming. But it's really scary when it wakes you up just out of a sleep. It's really, I remember being like out of breath. I was so kind of scared by the whole thing, and then in a couple seconds you're like, oh, okay, that was an earthquake. But I wonder, for people in Montana, they're probably not used to this, so they must have been like, what's going on? This is Right Side Broadcasting. We're covering this earthquake in Montana. A 5.8. How about that in Montana? No reports of injuries or damage yet. Hopefully there aren't any. We'll keep an eye out. I'm just checking also here my feed just to see if there are more reports. This person, David Elderkin, says, I felt it. Oops, can I get his tweet up? Well, I'll show you to it. It's the small view. He says, I felt it in Harrison Hot Springs, British Columbia. See right there, David Elderkin? I felt it in Harrison Hot Springs, British Columbia. So a number of people are saying they felt it in Canada. And this person also says, look at this. Kim on Twitter says, I think I felt something here in Kelowna, British Columbia about 25 minutes ago. So, but fortunately, I'm not seeing reports right now of damage or injuries yet. So maybe we didn't get any of that. If you would like to comment on this, maybe you live in the area and felt it. Maybe you have an earthquake story of your own. Write to me at Lookner on Twitter, at LOOKNER. Let me know. Also, again, we will be covering on Right Side Broadcasting. Within an hour, it's going to come on. We're going to be covering, President Trump's joint press conference that he's giving with the Prime Minister of Poland. And then after that, we're going to be covering President Trump's speech. All this late at night. So NY Cookie, I just answered your question. Wisconsin Drunk Girl, you just sent me a message about an earthquake in Montana. I'm on the air reporting on it. Okay, let's look at a couple more of these because I find them kind of interesting. Let's go back and look at a couple more of these testimonies here. Hold on one second. Thanks again to JC and the other moderators. Appreciate it. Working up late at night for us. Again, this is Right Side Broadcasting. We cover all kinds of news here, all kinds of breaking news. Feel free to like and follow us on Facebook and subscribe to us on YouTube and hit the notifications bell. And as I said before, we're bringing all this coverage in the middle of the night. We're bringing you this earthquake coverage. We're going to be giving you President Trump's press conference. If you like our coverage, feel free to make a donation because we can't stay on the air without donations. You support us. We're totally viewer supported. So even a small donation is a big help. If you want to make a donation, go to rsbn.tv/donate, rsbn.tv/donate, or click the $ at the bottom of the YouTube chat room. Let me go back here and go to some more of these testimony that people have written in, not to us, to this site here. This person says a decent little quake that shook the apartment a bit, and then this person says, my whole house was literally shaking, scary. And it's weird. It's like with earthquakes, I mean, I don't know exactly how it works, but people in different areas, even if they're roughly about the same distance away, can have very different experiences. I remember when I was in LA, sometimes there'd be an earthquake and I wouldn't even feel it, and other people would be like, hey, that was a huge earthquake. This person says nothing fell off my shelves. The apartment shook and woke me out of bed. Our whole house shook. And this person here says felt shaking of the entire building. It says map of testimonies. I wonder if we can see. I didn't want that. I want to see if there's one where we can choose. Can we will it view testimonies on interactive maps? What does that give us? Let's see. Oh, this is neat. All right, cool. I think it's not going to mess it up. So they show you the map and then they show you where the epicenter is. Well, it's kind of unwieldy because you click on one. All right, I don't like this. Not for broadcast. Please get me back to the other page. Thank you. We looked at some of those. Let's look at some of the other ones here. Had just gotten into bed, heard a noise like something fell, and dog started barking. Thought someone might have broken in, went to my son's room, and his closet doors were moving by themselves. So that is when earthquake came to mind, and I Googled it. It's scary. That's another thing I remember from LA is, you feel shaking and you'd be like, was that an earthquake? And you'd go online, you Google to see if you'd actually felt an earthquake. Let's see if I have any more comments from you guys. Daniel McHenry Weber says, felt the first two here in Great Falls, Montana. Shook me on the couch, as well as another one just now, smaller though. So you're saying there was an aftershock. I want to see if on my Twitter feed they are reporting the aftershock. Thank you, Daniel, for writing in. Give me 1 second here. Let me see if I see anything about the aftershock. And NY Cookie just made a donation and said, thanks RSBN and Steve for being here for breaking news. You're welcome, NY Cookie. Thank you so much for donating. We really appreciate it. I wonder if I can find the aftershock thing. Will this have the aftershocks on it? By the way, if you see any interesting news about this or any tweets or anything, feel free to forward that to me too, at Lookner on Twitter. Where's the USGS? If I go here, if I go to earthquakes, if I go there, latest earthquakes, that's what I want. Here we go. So what you see, I gotta make this smaller. Hold on, folks. I left my keyboard down here. There we go. I gotta make this smaller so you can see it. Sorry. No, that doesn't help. Is this helping? Yeah. All right. So I'm sorry. I have to fix my little system here. I apologize. But how can I do this? So annoying. So on the left there, you see that earthquake in red where it says 9 kilometers southeast? That's the 5.8 one. And then the two above it, the 13 kilometer one is a 4.5. And the one above that is a 3.9. So those are two aftershocks. But those are still about a half hour ago. So there are no aftershocks. Hold on a second. Let me zoom in here. I was doing a little better here. There you go. So I was looking to see if there are any more aftershocks, but the aftershocks they're reporting are those two, but those are still a half hour ago, so I can't confirm. I don't doubt people are correct. I was seeing if they're showing any of like the aftershocks people are saying happening like in the last 10 minutes or something. Let me check more of your messages. M Primo says, still getting small tremors, scared the S out of me. Never been in an earthquake ever. It is very scary if you've never been in one. It's really, really scary. It's scary because you're not used to things like the ground moving. Things you thought were not capable of happening and things you thought were stable are no longer stable. It is really frightening. So this is again Right Side Broadcasting. We're doing a late night coverage of this earthquake hitting Montana. I turned on the mainstream media; they were not covering it, so and we wanted to go on and come on and cover it. Let's see. I just got a text from I think Jake. Jake says, people in the Facebook chat are reporting aftershocks. You should keep it open if possible. Oh, the Facebook chat. Yeah, let me give you a shout. If you're watching on Facebook, I can't really read the chats while we're on the air because I'm kind of doing too much here, getting the broadcast on the air. So best way to reach me, if you feel an aftershock or anything like that, write me on Twitter, at Lookner, at Lookner. Speaking of Twitter, feel free to follow me on Twitter as well if you like breaking news stuff, and follow Right Side Broadcasting at RSB Network. Sorry, just checking, see if there's any kind of updates here. Let's see here. Ooh, what is this? So I'm seeing a report that there was, and I'll show you this. There was an aftershock. So that's interesting. There was this aftershock, a 4.5 in around the same area, 29 minutes ago. Sorry, let me get me on the left side there so you can see it. There was a 4.5 around 29 minutes ago. So that's a pretty significant aftershock. And it was within 20 kilometers of the first one. So it's not the exact same place as the first one, but it's within 20 kilometers of the first one. So that's the aftershock you're seeing right there. So a lot of activity going on there in Montana tonight. I stand with Trump. You sent me a link. I will watch it after. Thank you. It's a YouTube link, so thank you. And then what is this here? I think, Douglas Krantz, you're telling me how to move the map. What I wanted to do, though, is there's this, long story short, I was having problems getting the far left of the web page on the screen, and that's something I need to do here. And if I zoom or don't zoom or move the map, it won't make a difference. So I apologize for that. I'll work on getting that fixed. Ryan Chavez writes in, hey, Lookner, 3 quakes. Friend of mine felt it in Great Falls. I don't know where Great Falls is. Is that Great Falls, Montana? I'm going to look that up. But Ryan Chavez says 3 quakes. I'm looking up Great Falls. Great Falls is in Montana. Okay. Thanks, Ryan. Daniel McHenry Weber says there were the first 2 and then one about 5 minutes ago. So we're hearing those reports, similar reports of a couple initially and then one in like 5 minutes or so ago. Carrot King says this is very weird. We are feeling aftershocks in Canada. Is that normal? And I'm in Toronto, Ontario, so it doesn't seem normal. I mean, I will say this, that I remember when I felt an earthquake in Boston that happened in DC, and it was not that strong an earthquake. So sometimes you can feel them very far away. Drapes writes in, felt in Calgary 480 kilometers away, which, if I'm doing the math right, is about 300 miles away. Wow. And Ryan Chavez says Great Falls is northeast of Lincoln. Wow, so a lot of people in Canada writing in and saying they felt this earthquake. Let's see if there's more updates here. If you'd like to write in and comment on it, or you have a eyewitness account, feel free to write to me on Twitter at Lookner, at Lookner. Okay, so it looks like we have a report of the 4th felt earthquake. So look at here. Look at here. Okay. So they're saying EMSC, this one was 28 minutes ago, but this is what I want to show you. They say this is the fourth felt earthquake in western Montana in the last 2 hours. So that's 4 earthquakes being reported in the last 2 hours in western Montana. Wow. Let's check my messages again here. Is this guy live? Hold on a second. I'm checking something out here. Yeah, so somebody, Top Turtle and I think somebody else sent me a YouTube stream of somebody they say who's my best source on earthquakes. The problem is I can't really watch that stream at the same time as doing this stream. Because I can't be, if I'm listening, I can't talk, and then you can't hear and stuff. So I'll keep going here. But if you see anything interesting, if you hear anything interesting on that channel, feel free to give me a shout, and I'll let people know about it. At Lookner, at Lookner on Twitter. Oh, and here's the one from 12 minutes ago. Okay, so EMSC is now having this one up. There's the one. Wow, this is very significant. So this is a big aftershock. Oh, and this is the 5th one. Wow. Okay, hold on a second. All right, so now we're seeing reports of 5. If you look down here, it says, EMSC says 12 minutes ago there was a 5th one. See where it says this is the 5th felt earthquake in western Montana in the last 2 hours. Wow. Okay, so they're going to report this. I'm going to just send this out to my Twitter followers. Big aftershock happening in Montana. 5 earthquakes total so far in last 2 hours. That sums up what's going on right now. I mean, a 4.8 is very significant. So we'll leave that up there. Let me check my feedback from you all. Yeah, Darcy Hawker just wrote it and said 5 in total now. Darcy also said someone said the Yellowstone magma chamber goes under Lincoln, Idaho. I know nothing about this, but thank you, Darcy, for writing in. Eric Burjoyne says most of southern Alberta from Calgary south felt the quake. So a lot of Canadians felt this quake. Dr. John Hughes says 45 minutes north of Calgary, nothing here. So Dr. John Hughes, is it or D. John Hughes? I was saying D stands for doctor because I was misreading it. It's late where I am. It's 2:40 in the morning. So, but D. John Hughes says 45 minutes north of Calgary, nothing here. This is Right Side Broadcasting. We are covering this earthquake in Montana because we think it's an important story, and I'm sure the mainstream media isn't covering it, but we are. Because we like coming on and covering news that they don't cover. And we also cover news they do cover. So if you like our coverage, please consider donating because we cannot stay on the air without viewer donations. We're entirely viewer supported. You let us do this, and you let us bring this news to you, and we really appreciate it. So if you want to donate, either go to rsbn.tv/donate, rsbn.tv/donate, or you can click the $sign in the YouTube chat room next to the broadcast. At the bottom, there's a $sign. Just click on the $sign. No reports so far I'm hearing of damage or injuries, which is fantastic. If you happen to be on the web, maybe you find a tweet of a house damage or something. Hopefully nobody got injured. I'm not hoping this happened, but if you find something, feel free to write it in. Let me know and I'll show it on the air. I'm at @Lookner on Twitter, @LOOKNER. Oh, and we got a message here. Skylar Rossback writes, I'm sitting here drinking when the earthquake happened. I thought I was blacking out, LOL. I guess it's possible, depending on how much you were drinking, Skylar, that you could have been both blacking out and feeling the earthquake. But I'm going to trust you, your sense of how much you were drinking, and you seem to be saying that you thought you were blacking out just because of the shaking. So that sounds like pretty serious shaking. Glad you're okay. Sounds like you're okay. Alyssa G writes in, my boyfriend was drinking, thought he blacked out because the couch and the TV was shaking hard, LOL. So that's the second, wait, is this the same person? No, so we've gotten two people writing in saying that one person says they thought they were drinking and they thought they blacked out. And then this person says, Alyssa says, my boyfriend was drinking and he thought he blacked out. So a common occurrence seems to be that people were up very late at night. Well, it's not that late, actually. In Montana, I guess it would have been around, 1 in the morning or midnight. And people were having a drink and they thought they blacked out because the couch and the TV was shaking. So I guess the thought is you think, oh, I'm drunk and that's why everything's shaking. And then you realize, no, it's because the stuff is actually shaking. Thank you, Alyssa, for writing in. Hey, we're covering this earthquake in Montana, and we're covering I want to say it's sort of an active situation because there are now 5 earthquakes total that have been reported. There was a 4.8, as you can see, aftershock just a few minutes ago. Let me check and see if there are any more here. No, that's the last one so far. Ooh, what is this one? Yeah, this is Secret Agent Man here on Twitter is saying another aftershock at 0128, which would have been the aftershock we just saw, then a rumble about 7 seconds. Wow. And that is, as far as I can tell, this one here that I'm showing on the screen right now is the last aftershock. It's the 4.8 from, and it says 12 minutes ago, but it's now about 20 minutes ago, I'd say. Would love to hear from more about your if any of you out there felt it, would love to hear from you. Or maybe some of you have earthquake experience and you just have a comment on this. Write to me on Twitter @Lookner. Feel free to follow me as well. I cover a lot of breaking news stuff. Steinburner says, this isn't unusual for a near 6 magnitude quake. Also, I'll remind everybody that Richter scale is base 10 logarithmic scale. So, yeah, it's not like, my brain isn't really working now. I haven't prepped for this, but I'll say this: it's not like. So is it that like a 7 is 10 times more powerful than a 6? It's not like a 7 is a 6 with like 1/6 extra. It's like a 7 is like way more powerful than a 6. So it doesn't just it's not like a even scale kind of thing. So like It's not that a 6 is twice as more powerful as a 3. It's like way more powerful than a 3. It goes up faster. But I'm not giving you a very good math definition because I hadn't prepped for this and I don't remember what the math is. Thank you, Steinbrenner, for reminding us. Keck King says, I don't think this will cause any further damage. Maybe some aftershocks, but it's not going to be catastrophic, which I hope, and that would be good. I will say this, about 5 years ago when I was in Boston and they had this earthquake in D.C. around that area, and we felt it in Boston. I was at my parents' house. We got some cracks in our walls, and it wasn't even that big of an earthquake, but just houses shaking can really damage a house, I know. And I wonder if it's even more so in a place, where they might not expect earthquakes and might not build the houses expecting earthquakes. I don't know. So I hope there's no damage, but I wouldn't be surprised if there's some damage. Ooh, we have Sweet Sinner sent me in a picture. This is nice of you. Let me go get this and show it to you folks. One of our viewers. Sweet Sinner says, pics coming in now from the damage. And so Sweet Sinner sent me this. And this is from Dennis Bragg. And Dennis Bragg writes, pics coming in now from the drain damage in Lincoln. Reports indicate power is out. Now let me show you this. There you go. Look at that. Wow. I'm going to retweet that. So reportedly, now I cannot vouch for this. Maybe somebody is sending in this picture and it's fake, but I believe the person for now. I'm willing to give this some credibility. A lot of groceries and beer and stuff on the floor. Let me retweet that. Thank you, Dennis Bragg, and thank you, Sweet Sinner, for sending me that update there. Oh, D. John Hughes says, here's a new map, by the way, of people feeling the earthquake, and those are the reports. The blue is like light shaking, and the green and yellow is, more people reporting, more significant shaking. Let me go back here, get to that. Seeing if there are any more aftershock updates. Anthony Lomack says, past hour in Missoula, Montana. You can see the aftershocks there. So you have that big one at first, and then you have that one right after. People reported 2 earthquakes, so it looks like initially. Then we have an aftershock in the middle, and then maybe that one on the end is that most recent one. I want to put that... Hold on a second. I want to put this back up there. Hold on a second. I want to get my graphic back up there, though. There we go. Okay. Let me get back to your reports here. Sky High writes in with a comment and says, Earth is dynamic and ever-changing. Yes, it is. Thank you, Sky High, for writing in. Clyde Dillon Womack says, Dutch Sense on YouTube is a very amazing channel to learn about earthquakes. I will check it out when I am done with this. Let's see. We have another message here. Daniel McHenry Weber says, Yellowstone has had 2 5.4s in the past week. I did not know that. Huh, interesting. Let me do a little check here. Recent earthquakes. Yellowstone. I'm looking to see if I can find the reports of the Yellowstone ones. Just to confirm. Well, if somebody has it on a list or something, feel free to send it to me. I was also just looking on a map as to where Yellowstone is. It's in Wyoming, which is right near Montana. Is that true that there were earthquakes in Yellowstone recently? Because if it is true, Wyoming is just south of Montana, so that'd be, maybe there's increased earthquake activity in that whole area there. Jimmy writes in, an earthquake also rocked Georgia a couple weeks ago. I'm not sure what it registered, though. Probably wasn't as big as the one on Montana. Thanks, Jimmy. Let's see. Oh, somebody, I just got, one of our viewers sent me a helpful map, which I'll show you. It was from Daniel McHenry Weber. Here, I'll show you what he sent me. He sent me this map. And it's recent earthquakes Ooh, let me get myself out of the picture so you can see a little bit. Well, maybe this will work. Recent earthquakes near western Montana. Now, those are the ones on top tonight. But look, I want you to look as I go back. Those are all right. So this is helpful. So we can see it has on the right a list of the different earthquakes, and we see there's some aftershocks there. But what I want to show you is, if we go down here, these are the Yellowstone ones. West Yellowstone. These are all in Montana. These are a bunch of earthquakes in Montana 3 days ago. A lower magnitude, 1s and 2s. It looked like. Oh, so when somebody said Yellowstone, maybe they meant Yellowstone, Montana. And these are a bunch from 7 days ago in Montana. And these are also 1s and 2s. So it looks like in the last week there were a bunch of 1s and 2 range earthquakes in Montana. And maybe that was leading up to tonight, where we had those biggies. Where was that damaged photo? Oh, there we go. Thank you for sending me that link. If you have any links you think would be good to look at, if you see any photos of anything that's interesting or tweets, give me a shout. I am at Lookner on Twitter, at LOOKNER. Juicy Toot 56. But it's JUCY. I was going to say I love the name Juicy Toot 56, but maybe it's Jucky Toot 56. Anyway, says, this is my first earthquake and we felt it in Florence, Montana, and it scared me really bad, knocked over a few paintings. They are really scary. I remember I was once living in a high-rise in, not like super fancy or anything, but living in a high-rise. I think I was on like the 17th floor or something in LA, and the earthquake happened. And in LA, they build the buildings intentionally to be able to, some of them are built on rollers so they can sway back and forth during the earthquake, which helps them from like cracking and crumbling or whatever. And I actually could feel the building moving back and forth during the earthquake. They are really, really scary if you've never felt one. Thank you for writing in, Juicy Toot 56. And D. John Hughes, I'm going to show you this. D. John Hughes sent me an interesting message here. He said, it's a history of Montana earthquakes. I guess they're big ones. So we have 58 years ago, there was a 7.2. 92 years ago, 6.9. So this one looks like, wow, this, if D. John Hughes' info is accurate, if this is a 5.8, it'd be the biggest one since 34 years ago. There was a 6.9. Wow. It's the biggest one in quite a while in Montana, if this information is accurate. Thank you, D. John Hughes, for writing in. Miss Nene 5 writes in, God bless the people of Lincoln, Montana. D. John Hughes says, I'm listening to a police scanner from 10 minutes north of Calgary, no reports. And I want to just give a message to Joe, who is up at this late hour, and Jake's also up. Thank you, Joe and Jake, for being up and helping with this production. Now, Joe, I think you're going to plan on putting on the President Trump's press conference around 4:15. If we're still broadcasting here, Joe, I'm assuming you could do that on a different stream so we can stay on the air here. I just want to make sure. So, Joe, if you can hear me, maybe if you could send me a text, that would be great. But maybe, with these aftershocks are still happening, and so I'd like to stay on the air a little while here and just make sure everything's cool. And we're starting to get some reports in from people, so I'd like to, be on the air for that. Okay, Purple Crow sent me a breaking news report. Thank you, Purple Crow. And okay, what I'm gonna do real quick, guys, is I'm gonna leave for about 45 seconds. I want to grab a little water. I didn't bring any with me, and so I'll be back in about 45 seconds. I'm not going anywhere, and in about 45 seconds, you will see I'm gonna disappear. The screen will be up in about 45 seconds or so. I'll be right back. So I'll see you in like 45 seconds to a minute. Okay, I'll be right back. Okay, I am back. Thank you for letting me take that quick break. So we're here just to catch you up. We're covering the earthquakes, plural, in Montana. I want to say about an hour and a half ago, that first one happened. It was a 5.8. Pretty significant. And then there have been several aftershocks after. The most recent aftershock that we heard about was about half an hour ago now. That was a 4.8. There have been 5 reported earthquakes in the last couple hours in Montana. There's a picture of some damage here. I am Steve Lookner. This is Right Side Broadcasting. We are also taking your comments on the air. Some of you have been kind enough to write in and give your eyewitness accounts about whether you felt it or not and what you were doing. We'd love to hear some more of those. If anybody's out there watching from the area, feel free to write in. I will read your comment on the air and your eyewitness account. Or if you live somewhere else and you just have a comment on the earthquake, write in. I'm at Lookner on Twitter, at Lookner. This is Right Side Broadcasting. Quick thank you to the moderators. JC, I know, is up very late tonight, moderating the chat in the chat room and keeping the chat room a friendly place to chat. So thank you. And I'll just say again, we are viewer supported. We like to cover lots of events, especially events like this that the mainstream media doesn't really cover. And so if you do like our coverage, please consider donating. Even a small donation is really appreciated because that'll help us stay on the air to cover more events. If you want to donate, go to rsbn.tv/donate, rsbn.tv/donate, or you can donate on YouTube by just next to the broadcast, there's a chat room. Go to the bottom of the chat room. There's a $sign there. You can click on the $sign. And hello to everybody both on YouTube and Facebook who's watching tonight. I hope everybody is safe. This is the first picture of damage I've seen, is the one on the screen. So I would like to see. I hope there's no more damage. I assume there's some damage. So if there's any other pictures you spot out there of damage, I'd love to see them and share them with our viewers. So write to me on Twitter at Lookner and let me know. Okay, let me catch up. A bunch of you have written me here. I want to catch up to the messages. Hi, RJ says, I'm in Missoula. Is this anything to worry about? I don't want to say yes or no because I don't know anything about this. So you'll just be getting bad advice from me, whatever I say. So I'm sorry I can't be more helpful. Maybe somebody else can help. Hi, RJ at Sy the is better, at SY the is better. If you have help for RJ, hi RJ, you can write to him there. Let's see. A couple of you sent me a couple of maps and stuff. Let me just see what you sent me. Thank you for sending me these things. Oh, that's nice. Okay, this is good. I have a live earthquakes map and I have latest earthquakes. I have a couple things. Let me get the live earthquakes map up here and show you what that is. That was sent by, hold on one second here. I'm going to get this up in 1 second. Okay, so this is from Kyle McClure, sent me a map. And thank you everybody else who's been sending me maps and stuff. I can't put them all on the air, but I'm putting the ones here and there. Let's see. I have to catch up now. Here we go. It's down here. Kyle's message is down here somewhere. Where is it, Kyle? There it is. Okay. Kyle McClure sent me this. And this is a list of the up-to-date earthquakes. So it's a map from the USGS. Well, I don't know if it's the USGS, but it is it's a USGS feed of all the earthquakes. So we can see there, let's see. We're seeing all these aftershocks. So that 4.4 happened about a half an hour ago, where it says 4.4. That's like the highest red dot up there. You can see the red and the orange dots and how big they are. And I think red means it was maybe in the last hour. So we're seeing, but what you can see actually is there was even 10 minutes ago an aftershock reported, but it was only an 0.8. Oh, and that was in California though. So this is like everywhere. All right. So, all right. Okay. Now I'm seeing more. The 4 little dots there are not the Montana ones. Those are California, 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 California. That big red dot, that where it says 4.4, that's the last earthquake that's been reported from Montana. So no aftershocks reported in the last half hour, but we'll see if there are any more. Let me get back to your messages here and catch up. Britt Kevin says, I think Missoula should be on watch. The quakes are concentrated in Helena / is it Butte, Montana, but still keep on watch. Let's see. Cynthia E. Hughes says, I'm in, is it Butte? I think it's Butte, Montana. And she says, there have been 3 big ones and 2 small. Thank you for the report, Cynthia. And Darcy, when I was looking at the dots, like the red dots here on this one, she says red equals last hour, orange equals last day, yellow equals last week, white equals last month. So when you look at the earthquake maps and you see the different dot colors, oops, I didn't want to do that. I'm just showing you. See, look at that. Ah, this is being so fidgety. So you can see there's that big red dot where Montana is, and that means it's big, and it means it's in the last hour there was that big aftershock. I think that's what that one is. And the orange dot around it is more than an hour ago, but it's an even bigger one. I'll zoom in a little more on that if I can. Whee! There we go. Top Turtle says the fracking ops are going to go off with big quakes. I have no information, Top Turtle, that fracking had anything to do with this, but I will read your comment. Thank you, Top Turtle, for writing in. JC says, Steve, they need to learn how to handle their drinks. Hee hee, God bless you and RSBN. You mean the people who thought they blacked out when they were drinking when it was actually the earthquake? JC's just joking, by the way. Juicy Toot says, I felt it bad here, shook my house and kicked over a couple paintings. It's my first one too. Glad, sounds like you're okay though, Juicy. That's good. Oh, and Britt Kevin says, I did give the correct pronunciation for Butte, Montana. That's good to know. Patrick Gibson sent me some pics, some different pics. Let's see what Patrick Gibson sent me. Says, these pics come to us from a viewer. Hold on. That's Angela Marshall on Twitter. These pics come to us from a viewer who says his roommate has to clean up the mess at Walmart from the 5.8 earthquake near Lincoln. Let me show you that a little better if I can. Whoa. You know what I'm not going to do? I'm not going to do the joke where somebody would say, like, earthquake cleanup on aisle 8. But, hey, you know, I will say this. Let me blow up this one. That's a lot of stuff. That actually looks much worse when you have a bigger photo of it. Can I get that higher up? Let me get rid of this for a second. So there you have that. You can actually see the stuff fell off all the way down the aisle. But it doesn't look like anything like the lights didn't fall down or anything. Anyway, thank you for sending in those pictures. That's really cool. Maybe I'll retweet that. That deserves a retweet. This one is more of the same. See? There you go. Okay. Well, I like that we're not hearing reports of injuries so far. I hate that there's damage, but hasn't been anything too crazy so far. So, but it's helpful. I love that you're sending in pics because it helps us to get a handle on what's happening there. And again, this is Right Side Broadcasting. Hope you are enjoying our live coverage. Doesn't matter, it's the middle of the night. We are covering live the earthquakes plural. There was a 5.8 initially and then a few aftershocks, and we're covering it. We're taking your comments. We're getting your eyewitness reports. And I know the last aftershock was about half an hour ago, but it seems like we're just starting to get in like some of the photos of some damage and stuff. So we'd love to hear from you. If you're in the area, or if you're not in the area and you just have a comment, write me on @Lookner at Twitter, @Lookner, @LOOKNER. Feel free to follow me if you want to. I cover a lot of breaking news stuff on my Twitter. You can see me once in a while retweeting the stuff out as it comes in. And also, Right Side Broadcasting is @RSB Network. You can follow us as well. And feel free to like this video on YouTube and share it on Facebook. That let other people know we're covering this because maybe they don't know. So we love when you do that. I'm checking my messages here. Oh, you know, I should do just a quick like news check just to make sure there's not anything else being posted up here that I missed coming in. There must be more photos of this. I mean, come on. Oh, okay, and Joe just texted me. So if you're looking for, we're also going to have, I'm going to stay on the air and cover this earthquake and get some more news if I can get it about the earthquakes. But also we are covering the President Trump joint press conference in Poland, and that's supposed to start in about 10 minutes. So if you want to, you can open up both streams if you want. If you're looking for that, if you're confused where to find it, go to Right Side Broadcasting on YouTube, and you should see a couple of live streams there. On our YouTube page, Right Side Broadcasting on YouTube, if you want to open up like both windows at once. And I think we're also live with that on Facebook as well. So lots going on. We do this for you. We were small, but we do this for you. Is CNN covering both of these events live at once in the middle of the night? I don't think so. I don't think Fox or MSNBC are either, but we are. Darcy Hawker just wrote in 7th aftershock. She said, did that just happen, Darcy? She said, friend praying that they are not pre-shocks of a big one. And also, Darcy says, getting messages that people have been feeling the quakes in Western Washington, Mount Vernon, and Lake Stevens. Thank you, Darcy, for the update. So it sounds from what Darcy said that there might have been a recent aftershock. Let me check my little map here. It takes a little while, by the way, for these to get marked on this map. So nothing yet on that map, aftershock-wise, but I'll certainly keep an eye on it. You'll see. See, I'm looking down there. The last one reported is still from California, but I'll keep an eye on it. Also keep an eye on my Twitter feed. Maybe somebody posted about it. So possibly another aftershock just happened. Polly Shop says, Steve, I'm not American, but I have to ask, how far is Montana from Yellowstone? Well, now what I can't figure out were people talking about when they said there was, I think your question is about Yellowstone Park, but there's also a Yellowstone, Montana. So I can tell you distance between Helena, Montana and Yellowstone Park is 180 miles. It's 180 miles from Helena, Montana, which is the capital of Montana, to Yellowstone National Park. Jenna Wavers writes, and I'm here in the heart of Missoula, Montana, and it woke me up straight out of my sleep. Couldn't believe we were having an earthquake that big. And yeah, 5.8 is really sizable. And as I said before, even a couple years ago when I was in LA, I felt one that woke me up, and it felt super strong to me. And then I think it ended up being a 3 something, but I was located close enough to the epicenter that we really felt it. But 5.8 is very, very strong. So I'm not surprised that it woke people up. Oh, Darcy is saying that it's now on the USGS website. Hold on a second. Let's see here. I'm checking a couple of things. I want to see if there's that latest aftershock is listed. Ooh, maybe. No, that's not there. Hold on. Let me check what you sent me, Darcy. It's under messages. Here it is. Yeah, so Darcy, I opened up this link, but it doesn't seem to be showing yet the aftershock that you just felt. So I'll keep an eye on that map there. Oops, sorry. Let me put that up on the screen just to have something up there for right now. Did anyone else out there feel this supposed aftershock that maybe just happened? Britt Kevin says Yellowstone National Park itself is situated in the Idaho, Wyoming, Montana border area. Cynthia Hughes also says Yellowstone Park is in Montana and Wyoming. I'm looking at the map just sent to me. A fan of TV's Frank just sent me a map showing how far away people felt the quake. Ooh, I can blow that up a little bit. Oh, I see. It's in. Let me show you. That's an interesting map. And I know people felt it in Canada too, because people have been writing in. Let me just show you this this map that I just got sent here. Fan of TV's Frank sent me this map in. Let's see if I can open it up for you and show you. I might have to get rid of this for a second. So you can see there's people in Washington reporting it. There are people, and above that, actually, I'm seeing at the top of that, that's Canada area there, because I'm seeing like Moose Jaw, Medicine Hat. So all of those reports on the top of that photo are all people in Canada reporting they felt it. And people in Washington as well, Washington State. Thank you for that map. That was Fan of TV's Frank who sent me that map. I appreciate it. Polly Shop says, just finished reading a paper on the supervolcano in Yellowstone Park. Hope no link, being only 180 miles away. Clyde Dylan Womack says, look on USGS to get the coordinates, then type those into Google Maps. This will show you what's in the location, fracking, etc. Thank you, Clyde, for the heads up about that. I'm going to keep trying to get information about if there was another aftershock recently. Oh, it looks like there's a site maybe. There was just, by the way, there was just an earthquake in the Philippines being reported like a minute ago. Strong earthquake hits Leyte Island in the Philippines. So there's that going on. Let me just see if I can get any more information about that. That's a 6.6. So there was a 6.6 in Leyte Island in the Philippines, a 6.6. Now, I want to see, do they have any pictures on this site here? Okay. Oh, they're talking about the Philippines. I want to see if there's any more, that testimony site I had. Here's this one. Oh, pictures. Nobody sent in pictures yet for the... This is the testimony site for the Montana one. People write in on the site and they... Nobody sent any pictures yet, but let me see. Unfortunately, this thing doesn't tell you when people wrote in. So somebody says another aftershock just now, but I don't know when they said this. Anyways. If you have any more updates on this, if you find any more pictures or anything online like this one here, give me a shout on Twitter @Lookner. Let me know. I'd love to hear any new news about this or new reports about this. Anthony says was a 6.9. So the USGS is reporting the Leyte earthquake was a 6.9. Let me show you that real quick while we're talking about earthquakes here. I have too much stuff open. Let me go to world. USGS. Earthquakes. This is the Philippines one. So the Philippines one, oops, I got to get this, there we go. This earthquake just happened about 10 minutes ago. There was a 6.9 in the Philippines. If you see the map, there's the map on the left there. Let's look at the did you feel it. So I'm sorry to go away from Montana, but I just want to take a second because this just happened and see this in the Philippines here. So they've only gotten a couple of eyewitness reports in on the Philippines one. That person on the left said they felt it with light shaking in the blue, and the green is like more moderate shaking. That's the green. So we'll wait and see if there are more reports from this earthquake. So we're covering this Philippines 6.9, and we're also still covering the earthquake, the Montana earthquakes. So much happening with earthquakes. Maybe I'll do a little quick change. Watch what I do. Here's what I'm going to do here. Give me 1 second. I'm going to change the lower third here. Sorry that the text is going to change as I write this. Earthquakes hit Montana and Philippines. And I have to look up the spelling of Philippines. P-I-H-I-L. I couldn't remember how many L's there were. Better. Okay, so there's that. Hold on, folks. I'm just adjusting some stuff here. Give me 1 second, because I want to let people might be wanting information about the Philippines one, so I just want to change the name of the event to let them know we're covering that as well. Earthquakes hit Montana and Philippines. All right, so much happening now with earthquakes all at once. Hold on, I just need to get the chat back on the screen. Thank you for your patience, folks. Sorry, I have to do all this at once here. All right, now let's get back. All right, so we have this Philippines one that's a 6.9. There could be a lot of damage from that. We also are following the Montana one, which is there's on your screen right now. Oh, and this is quite interesting. So if you check this out, folks, I'm going to go down a little bit. So below this, we have the list of the earthquakes. Look at the list right now. Look at what's happening. Look at the top of the list right now. There's the big one from the Philippines right there. That big red dot, 6.9. Wow, so much happening right now. Okay. So if you have information, more information, I'd love to hear more information about the Montana earthquakes, any photos or anything, or any reports. Give me a shout on Twitter. I'm at @Lookner. And also, we might have people watching from the Philippines. So if you're watching from the Philippines and you have any reports about that one as well, I'd like to hear about that as well. Write to me on Twitter @Lookner. Darcy says, yeah, USGS says Philippines was a 6.9. Shep writes, and I'm in Helena, Montana. We felt one strong quake and 3 aftershocks. Just minor power outages in Lincoln. That's good. No other reported damage or injury. All good news. Thank you, Shep. Appreciate it. This is Right Side Broadcasting. We are covering these earthquakes. Very big earthquake quite big in Montana a couple hours ago, about a 5.8 and a number of significant aftershocks. And just minutes ago, a 6.9 in the Philippines. So we are covering both of these. Speaking of which, I should inform our viewers we're doing that. If you give me 1 sec here, folks, I just want to do something real quick. I just want to tweet out to our right side people that we're covering the Philippines one as well. .9 earthquake. Oops, what did they just do? Are they updating their map? Here we go. Okay, good, that's sent out. Thank you for your patience. I just have to get my own Twitter page up here and I will be all set. Wonderful. Okay, now I'm back. All right. This happened in the Philippines about 15 minutes ago. In the last couple of hours, there have been 5 earthquakes in Montana, the 5.8 initial one, and some aftershocks. So we're trying to get more information about both of these earthquakes, or both of these sets of earthquakes. If you have any information on any of these you would like to share, any comments on any of this, write to me on Twitter. I am at @Lookner, at LOOKNER. Feel free to follow me as well on Twitter. I cover a lot of breaking news stuff. And also, you can follow Right Side Broadcasting at RSB Network. Oh, Anthony just wrote in and says the 7th one from Montana just registered. So let's go back to the USGS site. Let's refresh it. That's not the one I wanted. I want this one. Too much happening. All right, hold on. I need to close some windows here. I'm doing too much at once. I am doing too much at once. All right, latest earthquakes. That's what I want. This Montana one, I just clicked on it and it says, now that's still the one from 45 minutes ago. So I'm looking for a report of the latest Montana one, but I haven't seen it yet. Although you can see here, USGS officially they have the 5.8 down there. They have the one that 9 kilometers south. That's the one in red. That's the 5.8. And then they have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Huh. So they do have 6 aftershocks up there after. I wish it's here. Hold on. Let me just show you a picture of this. Sorry, it's a little annoying because the way their website is set up, it makes it a little hard for me. So let me just do a quick screen capture here, and this will let me show you what I'm seeing. There we go. So what I'm seeing here is you have that red earthquake at the bottom. Hold on, you'll see it in a second. That's the 5.8. See, 5.8. And then we have 6 USGS reported aftershocks, 4.9, 3.8, 4.5, 3.9, 4.4, 3.9, all sizable. But that 3.9 at the top, which is the latest one reported, that's still, almost an hour ago. So I don't even know if there might be more than 7 total. I just don't know if they've caught up yet there. Okay, a lot going on here. Let me try to catch up. Yeah, that's the one, the 3.9 one. Yeah, Darcy, you just sent me this one too. That one in the blue is the last one they've reported. That's the 7th one. But that still that was about, it says 07:31 UTC, which would be about 54 minutes ago. Let's go back to that, let's go back to the Philippines one and see if there are any more reports of eyewitness reports. And let me say again, this is Right Side Broadcasting. We are viewer supported. The reason we can be on the air covering this is that you guys give us donations. So if you like our coverage, if you're enjoying it, and you like that we're here to cover these events, feel free to consider making a donation. Even a small donation really helps us out. Don't think it's going to be too small. And if you want to donate, you can go to rsbn.tv/donate, rsbn.tv/donate, or you can click on the $sign in the YouTube chat room next to the broadcast. Go to the bottom, there's a $sign there. You can click on it and donate that way. There's not a lot of reports. Well, now maybe because they're not reporting to the USGS, I don't know. But I'm looking on the USGS site for reports about the Philippines, and I'm seeing there's a few more reports here in. There is a few blue reports which are light shaking. Then there's a couple green reports which are moderate shaking. I haven't seen any yellow reports yet. I'm kind of surprised though because 6.9 is really strong. So, and this was supposedly a 6.9. Oh, now they're saying it was a 6.5. It looks like they may have revised it down to 6.5, which is still quite strong. So keep an eye out, see if we can get any more updates. If you have any more updated information on the earthquakes in the Philippines or Montana, any pictures you see or any reports, maybe you're at one of these places, write to me on Twitter at Lookner, at Lookner. Chiari says, yeah, was in Missoula, Montana, not the worst quake I've been in. The 1994 Northridge was worse, but it was still scary. House was shaking. Thanks, Chiari. I've heard, I was not in LA for the Northridge one, but I heard that was just crazy in California, the 94 Northridge one. Clyde Dylan Womack says Yellowstone was hit with a record number of earthquakes last month, almost 900 in 2 weeks, so maybe more activity happening there. Jack Sandler says you've yet to mention significance of Montana earthquakes with what has been going on in Yellowstone volcano. That's interesting. Let me look at that. Somebody else wrote in about that, Jack. So Jack Sander just wrote me. So Jack sent me this and says, this article, scientists fear supervolcano eruption as earthquake swarm. Let me look at that there. So this was from the site Zero Hedge, and they posted this just last week, and they said more than 800 earthquakes have been recorded at Yellowstone, a long-dormant supervolcano located in Yellowstone National Park over the last 2 weeks. Let's see. They say the USGS Geological Survey says the risk level remains in the green, unchanged. So I guess there's a worry. Hold on a second. I guess there's a possible volcano in that area, but so I'm just. You can go to Zero Hedge and look at this article if you want to read it. But is it possible that these earthquakes, the 800 felt in the last 2 weeks, are related to the earthquakes in Montana tonight? Are they connected? I don't know. Interesting question. Trying to get some more information here. Let me check my feed. And President Trump's joint press conference is just about to be live in Poland. And so if you want to watch that instead, or if you want to watch both of those at once, you can go to Right Side Broadcasting on YouTube and see the link there. Or go to Right Side Broadcasting on Twitter. You can get a link there at RSB Network. Okay, so this is an update from B&O News. Let me show you that real quick about the Philippines earthquake. It's strong 6.5 magnitude earthquake strikes Leyte Island in the Philippines. No tsunami alert. No tsunami alert. Which is good. But that is quite strong. Britt Kevin says, Yellowstone National Park has a supervolcano caldera underneath. However, I currently do not have any concerns because, and you're going to write something else, but I haven't gotten it yet. Robert Coleman says, Quake Feed is a nice app for quakes. Thank you, Robert. I'll have to check it out. Victoria Tet wrote me in and said, tsunami not expected. Thank you, Victoria Tet. Yes, Polyshop, I have that USGS link. Thanks. Britt Kevin says, to finish Britt Kevin's thought, he said, Yellowstone National Park has a supervolcano caldera underneath. However, I currently do not have any concerns because there are no ground elevation shifts in this Yellowstone area. Thanks, Britt. Okay, so we're still covering these earthquakes. Information is kind of slowed here, so I'll stand for a couple more minutes and just see if anyone else has any news on this. I'll probably go in a little bit and maybe do a little coverage of the President Trump press conference and speech. So if you have any last comments on the earthquake, feel free to give me a shout on Twitter at Lookner, at Lookner. Oops, sorry. I didn't mean to do that. Yeah, I think in a second I'm going to end the stream because we have that President Trump stuff going on. I need to go cover that. So I think I'm going to end the stream about now. And but I'm glad you have joined me for this, and thank you everybody for writing in all of your eyewitness accounts and sending me links to photos and everything. Appreciate it. And again, we are Right Side Broadcasting, so if you like our breaking news coverage, subscribe to us on YouTube and click the notifications bell when you subscribe, and that way you can get notified whenever we come on live with a video. Also, you can like and follow us on Facebook, and you can follow our Twitter. We're at RSB Network, and I on Twitter am at Lookner, at Lookner. Cover a lot of breaking news stuff, so if you like breaking news, follow me on Twitter. Thank you to everybody in the chat room, to JC for moderating the chat tonight. Much appreciated. And I think, let me just make sure I'm all caught up here. Proud Deplorable says, Steve, do you ever sleep? Thank you for the up-to-the-minute breaking news. You're welcome, Proud Deplorable. Brit Kevin says, no problem. Been studying the details for a while, majoring in environment, science, meteorology, if things go as planned. Good luck with that, Brit Kevin. Okay, so I think right now, let me just do one more quick check and make sure there's no new earthquake news. Okay, that's all the earthquake news I have for now. All right, so I'm going to go cover, or maybe do some coverage of the President Trump speeches / press briefing. If you want to watch those, go to Right Side Broadcasting on YouTube and check them out. Yes, Jason, I already mentioned that one about the Philippines that you just sent me, that new earthquake. Thank you, Jason, for writing that one in. Just making sure I'm all caught up with everybody's messages before I sign off of this feed. Okay, I'm going to end this stream right now. Thank you for joining us for our coverage of the earthquakes in Montana and the Philippines. And this is Right Side Broadcasting. Once again, we're viewer supported. We appreciate your donations because they help us stay on the air. So if you'd like to donate, rsbn.tv/donate, rsbn.tv/donate, or you can click on the $ at the bottom of the chat room on YouTube. Every donation helps, even the small ones. So we hope you consider donating. For now, I am Steve Lookner. I hope you have a great rest of your evening, day. If you're in Montana area, I hope you stay safe, and in the Philippines, stay safe. I hope you don't get any more aftershocks there. And hold on a second, need to do this. So yeah, stay safe. Thank you all for your participation and for watching Right Side. We really appreciate it. For now, I'm Steve Lookner. Have a great night and great rest of your day, and we'll see you soon.